Hello and welcome. Today we will share with you this video exploring the Deafblind Intervener Comparison Chart, which is a technical assistance document designed to highlight some of the various professionals who may support a child with deafblindness within a classroom setting. We will look specifically at the differences and similarities between deafblind interveners, educational interpreters, and spoken language facilitators, and how they may support students with deafblindness in their educational settings. Deafblindness is defined as the combination of functional, medical, or progressive vision and hearing loss, which may interfere with a child's ability to communicate and interact with others, access information, and/or move about safely and efficiently in familiar and unfamiliar settings. In the population of learners with deafblindness, total blindness and total deafness is rare. In fact, learners with deafblindness experience a wide range of visual and hearing loss combinations with varying specialized instructional and support needs. Due to the diverse nature of deafblindness, use of deafblind interveners is one potential IEP team consideration to address a student's access. IEP teams should consider the unique needs of the students with dual sensory losses and whether a deafblind intervener is required to provide the student with access to information they are unable to gather through vision and hearing, and to provide support for the difficulties they may have with concept development. North Carolina has approved job classifications for deafblind interveners that support school districts to develop job descriptions for these positions. The document entitled Class Specifications for Non-Certified Public School Employees is the document that houses both classifications for deafblind interveners and educational interpreters. Although spoken language facilitators are not identified within the class specifications document, we recognize that many students across the state of North Carolina are receiving support in listening and spoken language from these positions, and therefore spoken language facilitators are included within the technical assistance document. Please note that although the class specifications for non-certified public school employees manual does not offer a classification for spoken language facilitators, this does not prohibit public school units from creating their own job descriptions for these positions. Although we are highlighting these three positions in this comparison document, these positions do not represent an exhaustive list of support staff for these students. Each student is unique, and therefore his or her unique needs must be considered when discussing what supports may be necessary in his or her school environment. We will speak more on resources to support teams in working with students with deafblindness at the end of this video. Let's dive into the chart. This chart is organized into three columns entitled Deafblind Intervener, Educational Interpreter, and Spoken Language Facilitator. This chart is also organized into rows entitled At a Glance, Clarification of Role and Responsibility, Communication, Training and Certification, Morals and Ethics, Teaming, and Characteristics of Students who might benefit. Below the chart is a list of references and resources. Next, we will look at the specific rows within the chart. This document opens with an at-a-glance section, which provides you with a brief overview of the three roles in academic and functional environments. You will note that all three positions support access to language and communication, but deafblind interveners also facilitate access to environmental information that the student could not otherwise access through hearing and vision. How these professionals support access to language and communication depends on the unique needs of the student and the type and modality of language the student uses. The next row of the document offers some further clarification of the roles and responsibilities of the three positions. Again, you will notice some similarities amongst the positions. For example, all three positions should collect data and monitor progress as directed, as well as collaborate with other members of the child's educational team. There are unique differences within the roles of the three positions as outlined in the document. As you see in the next row, all three positions support the acquisition of and access to communication. Deafblind interveners must learn the highly individualized communication system of the learner and work to facilitate both receptive and expressive communication. Should the student also require an educational interpreter, he or she would focus on using sign language and other specialized forms of interpreting, such as haptics or protactile ASL. However, if a spoken language facilitator is required, their focus should be on facilitating spoken language communication. The next row covers training and certifications. Training requirements vary for each of these positions. Educational interpreters have minimum score requirements for the Educational Interpreter Performance Assessment, or EIPA, which you will find linked in this document. National certification is available for educational interpreters and deafblind interveners. Spoken language facilitators are not required to have formal training prior to beginning their roles. However, training is offered by the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. All three positions require ongoing professional development. In the morals and ethics row, you will see that all individuals working in any of these positions should act in a manner that is governed by the local education agency and education laws. However, educational interpreters have an additional code of professional conduct offered by the Registry of Interpreters for the Deaf, also known as RID. The next row of the document discusses teaming. No individual working within these roles works in isolation. All three positions should act as active members of the child's educational team, attend and participate in IEP meetings, and work closely with the student's teachers while receiving ongoing support from professional educators with expertise in individual student needs. The final row of the document provides further clarification regarding the characteristics of students who may benefit from the support of each of these positions, along with further guidance documents that will support IEP teams in making determinations about which supports would be the best fit for a unique student with deafblindness. That concludes exploration of the comparison chart. We recognize that meeting the needs of learners with deafblindness may come with questions, and your North Carolina DeafBlind project is here to help support your understanding of those needs and the roles of other professionals that may serve them. The North Carolina DeafBlind project is a federally funded grant through the Office of Special Education Programs and is administered through the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction within the Office of Exceptional Children. The mission of the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction and the North Carolina DeafBlind Project is to assist educators, related service providers, and families to gain knowledge to enable children who are deafblind to access the general curriculum and to gain the skills and experiences that prepare them to successfully transition to adult life. For more information about the North Carolina DeafBlind Project, as well as who to contact for further support, please view our website.